And it's a beautiful conversation to be had with a man who used to roam this particular campus. So much so that he became an All-American. So much so he became the #1 overall pick. Now he's a Super Bowl champion, a Hall of Famer cemented in the NFL. Quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. University of Georgia legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Stafford.
What's up, guys?
They're barking at you, Matt. There's a lot of that over here, Matthew. It's a beautiful thing.
I like that. I missed that bark. That's a good bark.
Yeah, everybody, it's a nice, easy thing if you're a fan. Like, if your team is the Bulldogs, like, what do you guys do to each other? You know what I mean?
Not too much to learn, you know? Simple stuff. We keep it simple for those guys down there.
Well, it's smart, and obviously we were friends with somebody that you were friends with, still are for a long time, and that was my first experience with Georgia when the Coonan family took me to the SEC championship, and you know, they happen to know some people. I saw billionaires on their hands and knees, barking. It's a great fan base, and obviously they've had great football here for a long time, including whenever you were here. Let's talk about what you have going on right now. On a bye week, obviously we got a lot of football left in the season. How are you feeling? How's the bye week going, Matthew?
Bye week's been good. Just relaxing down here in Southern California. That's the nice thing about living out here is you don't have to go too far for the bye. I'm not hopping on a plane. So just relaxing. Body's feeling decent. Trying to get the thumb and all that back up to speed and ready to go for Seattle when we get back.
Let's talk about the thumb a little bit. Obviously, Ripon playing quarterback. The Packers were very thankful for that. Nobody wants to see you under center, and that's a difficult thing for a backup quarterback to have to fill in for somebody like you. How is the thumb? What are the progressions, and where do you think you are right now without giving away any competitive advantage, obviously?
Yeah, thumb's feeling better than I thought it would. I was a little bit scared in the Dallas game that it was going to be worse than it was, and just happy that it's not. I'm going to do everything I can to be out there. I love playing this game and love competing, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do to be out there.
Okay, let's talk about that, because your Hall of Fame resume is cemented. Okay, Super Bowl champion.
Oh, yeah.
Dahn.
Thank you.
I think 3 of the top 5 best years a wide receiver has come with Matthew Stafford throwing him the pill. I mean, that's just an impressive thing. So whenever you have the injuries that you've had, I mean, we've seen you play with like a broken neck, broken ribs, spleen, shoulder dislocated, the NFL, back. I mean, you're wealthy. Whenever you were drafted #1 overall in 2009, you were given a $700 million guaranteed before you even got in there. But it feels like that is not important to you at all. With the way the Rams are looking going into this season, we thought to ourselves, maybe Stafford hangs it up. Yeah. Maybe he's kind of done. Injury last year. Does he still want to continue to play? 4 kids. Why do you continue to play? And are you going until the wheels fall off? Is that just the type of dude you are here, Matt?
I don't know. I don't think I'll go until the wheels completely fall off. They're wobbling a little bit right now as we speak. But no, I love playing this game. I love competing. I love being in the locker room with the guys. I'll never get that again. So I want to make sure I get as many opportunities to do that as I can. I love this team. I love the city. It's been a blast. Obviously, had a bunch of success in our first year, and trying to duplicate that. Either this year, next year, whenever it is. But I enjoy playing too much to hang it up.
Let's talk about Coach McVay and you's relationship. Why is he the perfect guy for you at this stage of your career? And what have you kind of learned from him, or maybe him learn from you to kind of meld together?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot from him. We're similar age. I think he's about a year older than me. So that's a whole lot of fun for me to come into the office every day, work with a guy that, we grew up doing all the same stuff. Know all the same things, and then just to be able to pick his brain. I mean, he's such a special mind when it comes to football. It's been a blast getting to work with him, and I don't know if he's learned anything from me, but I do enjoy getting to work with him, man. He's a high-energy guy and a fun guy to be around.
Dan Orlovsky told us that you were watching film with him one time, and you had the laser pointer, and you said, you see that throw right there, Dan? You can make that one. You see that end zone right there? You can run out of the back of that one. You see that throw right there? You can make that one. This one right here, though, you can't make. Not a lot of people can. And I think it showcased like a confidence in your arm. You're old now. Old as shit.
Yep. Uh-huh.
You are old as shit. Now, you haven't been here in 13, 14. It's been a long time since you were a college guy. We got to watch you when you came and played the Colts. Buddy, what you do with a football is phenomenal.
Absurd.
Do you feel like you're still throwing it the best you've thrown it? And how often do you look at a ball that you throw and go, damn, still nice to be able to put it into an absolute keyhole like I have to?
I don't know that I still throw it the way I did, 5, 10 years ago, but I think it's good enough. I appreciate the compliment in the indie game. You guys got yourself a guy that can spin it too. Anthony Richardson is he's fun to watch, man. Holy cow! But
Let's get him back.
no, I don't know. I enjoy it, man. I think it's fun. I feel like I could, still do it. Got some good ball out there, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
You hit one. There was this little crossing route.
Puka.
Yeah.
Hey, why'd you and Puka so quick? What was that about Puka? Because we lose Cooper, and then Puka comes in, and then now you got both of them. Why did you and Puka have such a quick connection, you think?
Well, Coop was out in training camp a lot of it with, with some injuries and stuff. So I was forced to work, with what we had. And Puka, obviously a young guy, man, just came in and did a hell of a job. He kind of does it all. He's a big physical guy, can run, makes people miss after the catch, physical player. So some guys are just easy to throw to, and he does a great job with his body language and then goes up and makes plays. I mean, you watch the first play of that Indy game, and I clicked back through a progression and threw a ball that he ended up one-handed to himself. So he's got some skill. Yeah. He's got some skill, and it's fun. I enjoy working with all the old guys, but also with some of these young guys too that are coming in trying to make a name for themselves.
Oh yeah, young guys. We heard on your we heard on the podcast that you can't relate to these young guys. You're old. You're old as shit. We heard that. Obviously that got blown out of proportion with everything,
Yes.
and I believe your wife was taken out of context with what she was speaking about on that particular podcast. But since when I was a rookie, and I retired 6 years ago, we came in the same year. From my rookie year to 8 years in, the locker room had changed. Like the players had changed, the humans had changed. How much of that evolution have you seen? And what is it like trying to relate to a completely different crew of humans at this stage of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed completely. I mean, when we got into a locker room in 2009, what it used to look like, and it definitely looks a whole lot different now, but I'm having a blast. I'm learning a bunch about, what people do these days, what the young guys do, and at the end of the day, it's football. And people appreciate guys that show up, work their ass off, and go out there and make plays. And we got a bunch of guys on our team that do that. I hope they respect that about me, and I do love coming to work every single day. Man, they bring a lot of great energy, which is fun to be around.
Hey, we appreciate Kelly's pod, too. Big fan.
Yeah.
She's a badass.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute badass. She is.
She says what she wants, as we know.
Hey, I love it. She's earned that.
Yeah.
Anybody that goes through what she's gone through and got to the other side of it, you can do whatever the hell you want, Kelly. AJ has a question for you, Matthew.
Matthew, we've talked about your toughness, and that's, I think, something that your teammates obviously have so much respect for you and your opponents. But Sean McVay and this guy's level of toughness, I'm sure you do remember last year. I don't know the exact player's name. I'm forgetting it right now. He almost knocked your coach stone cold out when he was running onto the field. And McVay turns around, boom, takes a serious shot that would definitely put a player in concussion protocol. Do you guys still talk about that? And you talk to McVay and say, hey, man, that might have been your best piece of coaching.
Yeah, he did take a lick. He got a little cut, I believe. I mean, he warriored through that. He's a really smart guy, but he's a meathead, at his core. So he probably loved that contact and probably wished he could have, gone out there, put the helmet on, and laced him up right there.
Yeah, but he didn't have have you watched those NFL films of yourself, dude? Where you're on, ha, and then you get out there and then you have to throw it and everybody's happy, ha. You're a different breed, bro. You are. You're a very different breed in this entire thing.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, like I said, I love playing. I love competing. Some of my favorite guys growing up to watch were Favre and Aikman and all those guys in Elway, and that's what they did. And they played through whatever just to be out there for their team and for their teammates. So I try to do that as much as I possibly can. Obviously, missed last week. Hate not being able to play at Lambeau. I love playing there, but hopefully I'll be back out on the grass next week.
Yeah, Lambeau is happy you weren't there. Yeah. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Matthew, obviously you guys signed Carson Wentz this week. Do you know Carson, or what's the process when you sign, because you've had plenty of backup quarterbacks? Are you guys going to go hunting together? What's the process when you bring in a guy like Carson?
I don't think we'll have any hunting trips, set up for the next 8 weeks or so, but we'll see. I do know Carson just a little bit from meeting him before and after games, but haven't spent much time with him off the field. I think his wife is pregnant and pretty close to having a baby at this point. So I'll connect with them when we get back. After the bye week, wishing them the best of luck on that. But excited, obviously to work with a guy that is a heck of a player, a top draft pick, a guy that has a ton of talent. So it'll be a lot of fun.
He was wild to watch with the Indianapolis Colts. Wait and see if he gets in. And we don't know what the state of you is. Not going to put you in that particular predicament, but his grade football, incredible.
So good.
And then all of a sudden, he'll be trying to break both of his legs on one play, and then he just gets up and goes right up. He has a lot of you in him, to be honest with you. It's a lot of you, but he'll give the ball to the other team more than you will. And to Brett Favre earlier, you mentioned his name. That was a compliment.
Yes, correct.
Just so Brett knows, that was a compliment from everybody from this particular program. No lawsuits needed. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Matthew, as a Packers fan, when you left the division, although you guys didn't have a ton of success against the Packers, I was pretty jacked up that you were no longer in Detroit. But going from Detroit to LA, now I'm guessing with young kids and your wife, I don't think they were bitching about leaving Detroit to go and live in LA. But how difficult was it adapting from just, living in Detroit and being there for so long for most of your adult life and then going to LA? Like, was that more difficult than you anticipated or no?
It was a huge move. There's no question about it. We started thinking about, we got schools we got to figure out, housing, all that kind of stuff, just trying to figure all that out. And we were so comfortable in Detroit. Been there for 12 years. And having that move was big. My kids adapted like just like you think they would. Kelly's loving it out here. But I do have great friends and people that I miss back in Detroit. So, as long as we're not playing them, I'm happy for their success, happy for that team's success. They'll always have a place in my heart. I'm always pulling for them.
We appreciated the fact that for a very long time, you never spoke about the situation in Detroit. Okay, you're an old school football player. It feels like that from just watching from the outside in. There's a lot of years where a lot of different quarterbacks would potentially come out and say, get me the hell out of Detroit. Okay, I can't win a Super Bowl here. All people are judged about for Hall of Fames is, well, how many Super Bowls did you win? How many Super Bowls did you win? Then you go to LA, first year, Super Bowl, we're in commercials, the whole world knows you. Was there any moment where you were thinking to yourself, I wish I could have been able to do this in Detroit, and I wish maybe we would have did this 5 years ago when I was still doing that, when you made the change over there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, when I first got to Detroit, man, all I wanted to do was bring that city a championship. I wasn't able to do it. I felt terrible about that, but I wouldn't have changed any of the 12 years that I had there for anything. I think I learned a lot about myself, a lot about my family, a lot about who I am as a player, and I think I'm better for it. It was tough. There's no question about it, but I think everything happens for a reason. I was sure happy to get to LA, get a ring, and hopefully sneak another one here or there in the next couple of years. But I think it all happens for a reason, and I wouldn't have traded my time in Detroit for anything.
There's a guy who's from that area who's a diehard Lions fan who became a Rams fan whenever you left because he loves you. He's in the truck. His name's Evan Fox. He has something to say.
Matthew, first and foremost, thank you for your service in Detroit. You are by far my favorite Detroit athlete in my lifetime. And speaking of all this stuff about Detroit, what's something about that city or the state of Michigan as a whole that doesn't necessarily get talked about enough or get enough credit necessarily?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my favorite thing about the city and the town was just the people, to be honest. Like, I used to love going out to dinner. You just ran into solid people all over the place, people that were willing to help you, people that were willing to band together. When I first got there in 2009, city was coming out of bankruptcy, and watching it go from what it was in 2009 to when I left a couple of years ago, man, the come together of that group, man, that city is a tight-knit group. I think you feel it in their fan base, and as a player I felt that, and as a member of the city I felt that, and that's something that I don't think gets talked about a lot. Everybody talks about the shitty weather, everybody talks about this, that, and the other, but I'll tell you what, it's a great group of people that we miss and still are close buddies with a lot of them.
Speaking of missing, I think this place certainly misses you being around here. As soon as you popped up on the screen, they started barking pretty loud. It's been raining all morning. They've just been hanging out here. Tell us what we're going to experience tomorrow with Georgia football happening in a big way here.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. That's a hell of an atmosphere as well. I loved playing there. Enjoyed every minute of it. And I know those people behind you are going to be screaming, their heads off for the Dogs tomorrow. I don't know if any of them remember when I used to play there. It's been 15 years now, but it's probably a different group of fans out there. But man, enjoy it. It's going to be an awesome time. It should be loud, and it should be a great game.
Hey, last question before we let you go. Enjoy your bye week, and thank you for spending time. There was never a thought of, you've said it in the next couple of years a few times here. There was never a thought of stopping playing football, huh? Never a thought of retirement, because didn't you have a neck thing?
Yeah,
spine thing? I mean, you had some real shit happen that could have like long-term effects. Never a conversation, never a thought?
Conversation with my wife for sure. With Kelly, she wants to make sure that I'm good in the long run, and so do I. But once I got kind of assured that, hey man, this thing's gonna calm down, you'll be fine. You should be as good as new next season. I was ready to go. But at this point in my career, there's no question I'm on the tail end of it, but I do still love playing, man. It's too much fun out there on Sundays and going to work every day.
Well, from what it sounds like, you're going to be able to do whatever the hell you want after football. You're acting in that commercial.
So good.
Unbelievable.
So good.
Top tier.
And obviously,
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, here you're fantastic. You want to guess score for tomorrow, Georgia Ole Miss here happening in Athens?
Oh, man. Let's go. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Let's go 35-31 Dogs.
Okay. A little closer than hey, Ole Miss covers.
Yeah, covered the spread.
Ole Miss covers is what this man said. I appreciate what you've done for football. The way you carry yourself is great for everybody. You're the man. Enjoy the hell out of your bye week. Please tell the family we said hello. And 4 kids is a lot of kids. Keep going, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. Y'all enjoy Athens.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,